Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cat Daddy Dictionary. I am not the Cat Daddy. What I am, however, is just important. I am the guardian of the dictionary. Today, we look at a word that has become part of the human lexicon in no time flat. Humans are funny. They do need to make up words where they see none existed before, hence the dictionary. Today, the word Catio. I like saying Catio. Catio. Let us dive into the dictionary and find out the definition. Catio. Portmanteau of cat and patio is either a permanent or temporary structure intended to confine a cat or multiple cats to a designated space for the cat to safely experience the outside. Intended to confine sounds like jail, but from what I have been able to ascertain, this is not a jail. It is an experience, safely experiencing the outdoors. Now, what you might not know about me is that I am a student of many things, one of them being architecture, the other being interior design. This was meant for me. As I researched the word Catio, I found so many thrilling things that spoke to my love for design. So let me take you through some of the most fabulous designs sent in to our producers. First, let's take a look at what Connie has done. Isn't this gorgeous? Connie says, "This is the Catio I had built for my 4 rescue cats. They love spending time out there, and I love knowing that they can have safe outside time." Well, Connie, I am glad that you decided to put nail to hammer, and wood and flowers and grass. Just thrilling, just simply thrilling. With 6 cats, Haley has decided that she needs not 1 Catio, but 2. This one is beautiful for the palm tree in the middle, which sets off the 2 sides beautifully and symmetrically. Plus, there's cats on either side, which is just a bonus as far as I'm concerned. And this is landscaped architectural beauty. Linda sent in this beautiful example of Catio, and beautiful I mean that both cats and humans can occupy at the same time. Imagine being the human, just laying back and looking at the backyard and looking at the cats navigate the A-frame with such a plum. And there's this naughty little cat hanging from the door. "What are you doing, naughty little cat?" "Oh, I'm just chasing my other friend cat." "Well, don't chase too hard. Don't fall down now. Just be nice so I can enjoy my outdoor time, as a human, I mean." Next, Samantha, who has 3 cats, Buddy, Shorty, and George. She says she loves them. They are our healers. Well, Samantha, let me tell you, your Catio space is nothing but healing energy. See the beautiful... Oh, it's a cat. There's a cat under the chair. Little cat, why would you be under a chair when the rest of your Catio is so grand? What I love about this is, again, it's pretty. And it works beautifully for humans. Look at all of this space, how the wicker furniture complements the gorgeous lattice work and the plants in this. I just can see myself laying back and drinking a Mai Tai while I try to get my cat out from under the chair. Iced tea, anybody? Isabel wants you to come in. Look at that nice little table and chairs and that beautiful wicker chair with a tropical theme and plants waving in the breeze. And yes, there's cat shelving and such, so the cats can have a good time while we have our iced tea. It's a beautiful day to be in Isabel's neighborhood. Tony's Catio is just stunning, idyllic, pastoral, and the plants hanging and mixing in with the design aesthetic of the house itself, and yet her cat is wonderfully comfortable and inviting us in for a Mai Tai I don't know why I keep saying Mai Tai. And then there's Jeanette, or shall I say, there's Della. Right, Della? Della, show us around your Catio. While you're doing that, Jeanette would like us to know, Della is a rescue who had never seen the outside world until I brought her home and built a Catio to keep her safe with outdoor space. Not a lot of money, but Della, you like your Catio, don't you? What was that? Couldn't hear you. That's what I thought. You just keep loving your life, Della. Now, Catios are meant to bring the outside in and the inside out. It is a beautiful portmanteau, as it were. This example from Aldi shows us what happens when cat meets deer. Cat, deer, yes, dear. Yes, cat. Ah, faster friends there have never been before. Good work, Aldi. Good work, dear. Good work, cat. There are so many more examples. I am so thrilled that so many of you found the time to show us your Catios. Of course, I am just interested in pretty. I don't understand functionality all that well. That is just the cross I have to bear. So for that, I give it over to the man who cares about such things. Take it away. Hey, what's up, everybody? Better. What's up, everybody? So my predecessor said it better than I could possibly say it in many ways, but functional, pretty, safe, Catio, portmanteau. But anyway, I'm really happy about this in so many ways. We asked for you guys to send us some examples of Catios, and we were flooded. So before we go any further, let me just say this. If your Catio was not featured this time, oh, you just wait. I'm sure there'll be more times for us to use Catios, but there were just so many that we actually had to, leave some out. So not to fret, it's not because I didn't like your Catio. Now, what makes a good Catio? Well, first and foremost, it's about your cats being safe. So if you have a Catio that's going to be right at ground level, so let's take a look at Connie, and of course Connie's Catio is awful pretty, but there's also the fact that it rests straight on the ground. And what Connie has done is she's put planters in front of it with some lava rock. That's really important. And what Connie might have done also is extended the fencing down below the ground so it stops critters who like to dig to get in. Like, for instance, raccoons would do that. So you don't want raccoons getting in with your cats and then there's a whole thing going on. The gauge of the wire that you would use, because you want it to be thick enough so that nobody can get in. You want your cats absolutely safe. So, for instance, if we're looking at Aldi with the deer and the cat, look at that. That's some heavy-duty gauge wire that deer is not going to get through, and her cat is safe. And what you'll notice is that Aldi's enclosure goes up, and also the ceilings are covered as well, because we want to think about birds of prey as well. You just want to be thinking about all of the things that can go wrong in terms of the outside world getting in, and there are plenty of ways to make sure that you mitigate that danger. And there's plenty of folks that I know that actually in their Catios constructed a door, and then there's another door, so when this one opens, the other one's closed. That way you know that you're not going to have door dashers getting out into the backyard and out of the backyard as well. So it's really good to be thinking about these little details, because those little details, especially when it comes to safety, mean a lot. The second, as far as I'm concerned, most important thing is how much use the cats are going to get out of it. It's all nice to make it a pretty place, but it also has to be useful as well. We want to make sure that the cats have plenty of places to climb, to perch. We want to make sure they have sun exposure, but also shade as well. Stuff that's vertical, stuff that's down on the ground as well. The same kind of thought that you would go into when you were thinking about your indoor spaces and environmentally enriching your indoor space. You would do the same thing with the outdoors. just making sure, and again, I think this is one of those things that I always sort of err on the side of, which is safety. So let's say it rains outside. You want to make sure that your ramps have a little bit of sandpapery coating on it so that your cats don't slip on their way down. You also want to make sure that any plants that you put in there are not toxic to cats. And there are a lot of plants, you guys, and flowers that are toxic to cats. And if you want to see more about that, check out this video over my head, because that list is long. But there are plenty of plants that are also safe for cats. Your cats can definitely have a flat of wheatgrass or catgrass or anything like that. You can plant catnip or cat mint, just like our friend Daniela did. Take a look at Daniela's plants. That's pretty amazing, right? As a matter of fact, I love Daniela's place, and I would love for her to take us through her place because it was just fun to look at it. So Daniela, take it away.
Hi Jackson, my name is Daniela and I live on a top floor apartment in the city of Berlin in Germany, and I'm going to show you the Catio that I built for that I had built for my two boys. So it's not very large, but they absolutely love it. And here's one of them. This is Lemmy, and you can also see that I had my balcony secured with a net that goes all the way around, all the way to here. Up there, there's usually birds sitting, like very often. You can actually see a dove sitting in the back, and they absolutely love bird watching here. And they also have a little pool, by the way, and this is my cat Hades. There's a little pool for them, which sadly they never play with, but which I fill a lot because they like to drink from it. And this is their collection of little cat grass, and there's cat mint and little things for them to nibble on. And yeah, so there's usually a lot of action going on because this is what you can see, what they can see when they sit up here. And they love to gawk at neighbors, which is a little embarrassing sometimes. And they just love to sit outside here and enjoy their life.
The next thing that we want to deal with is the human side of it. The other half of catification is working for the humans. Whether this is a space that is shared by humans or cats, whether it's just the cats themselves, you want to be able to be proud of it. You want to be able to look at it and say, this is me and it's them at the same time, if that's making sense. So the human aesthetic part of it and the human useful part of it, all very important. How easy is it for you to go in there and scoop a litter box if there's a litter box in there? How easy it is for you to water the plants or to straighten things up? You know, and if you can't get in, you got a problem. You managed to keep all the wildlife out and then you kept yourself out at the same time. So make sure that maintenance-wise, it's not a huge pain for you to take care of that space. I am guilty of this just as much as anybody else. I have a big imagination, a huge imagination. I am Mr. Blue Sky. I'm always like, no, we can build like a Willy Wonka chocolate factory for the cats, you know, kind of thing. And with elevators. Don't think I haven't thought about that too. But that keeps you from actually taking a bite out of the project itself. You guys understand what I'm saying, but here are some examples, because we want to think about what do you have the capacity to do, what do you have the room to do, what do you have the time and the finances to do. All of these things are really, really important, right? So take a look at what David did here. It's just a window box, really. He was able to put a wooden structure that's safe, it looks really secure, and it just spans the windows, and that's it. Is it the chocolate factory? No, but it doesn't need to be. It still gets your cats sort of halfway in, halfway out. It gets more sunlight into their lives. They get to really watch the birds more closely and critters that are on the ground or the traffic going by or whatever that is. What David did here is no less than what anybody else did that we've been featuring. Any of the pretty things that the dictionary guy liked so much doesn't make it better. It just makes it different, and it makes it specific to that human's needs, their desires, their aesthetic choices, and what their cats need as well. So don't let it stop you. Here's another example. Take a look at what Dawn did here. This, as far as I can tell, is probably a prefabricated Catio. So it might have been something that had directions already there, or she may have just ordered it whole and it just goes up against the house. One way or another, this did not take a grand scale, boy, we better get a contractor type of effort. This was something that could be done very quickly. Dawn, if you didn't order it whole, and if it's not prefab, well then, pardon me, but for you guys who are interested, you can get structures like this. Now, when we're talking about a cat inside the house watching cat TV, that's when I'm telling you to hang a bird feeder in the yard or make sure that your cats are watching something interesting out the window. Well, now it's in the Catio, so we're one step closer to nature, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be thinking about cat TV. Take a look at what Harriet did right here. Now, I love this. It's a very simple layout, but it has a really wide view of her nice yard, and right there, we see a bird feeder. From a purely aesthetic perspective, what I love about what a lot of you guys sent in was how beautifully it melds with your sort of existing either aesthetic sense or what your house looks like or what your surroundings are, whether you're in nature or whether you're in a tighter knit community. I would love to take a look at what Diane did, because Diane's is just, the theme is so wonderful, but she manages to hit a theme, which is this beautiful nature and wood and everything like that, but it's also useful for her cat. So let's take a look at what Diane did. Diane says, "This Catio was built with pure enjoyment and love to keep my babies safe and yet enjoy the outdoor air and smells and watch all the other creatures scurrying about in a safe environment. It's still a work in progress. I am always adding creative ideas to it. At night, it is softly lit up so little bug critters come inside the Catio for them to chase and hunt and get some exercise. And their curfew is 12 a.m. Then the passage in and out is sealed for the night. They love their Catio." But look at the hollowed out log that Mumu was playing with here. You see how that works so beautifully in its surroundings, yet at the same time, it's useful. Really great work, Diane. Every thought that you put into this is wonderful. And what I love, and this is a lesson for everybody else here, what she said here is it's a work in progress. Make sure it's sort of scalable. You know, make sure that you're making something so it can grow with your imagination and it can grow with the needs and the age of your cats. I mean, the needs of a cat who's 6 months old is really different from a cat who's 16 years old. So as the years go on, you add more ramps and less about jumping. You make it more about sunshine because, you know, our seniors just love to soak up the sun. Just have that skeleton of the Catio really set to go. The rest of it will come in time. Diane is perfect proof of that. So this is the last one I want to show you guys. This is from Bob, and Bob built a really cool looking Catio for his cat. So I want to take you through it right now. So take a look at this whole thing and how it was built, how the cats use it. I think it's pretty phenomenal. And what Bob makes sure to mention as he's taking us through this Catio itself is that it didn't cost much. $125 built this thing. Now, if you are someone like Bob who can put hammer to nail and glue gun and all that stuff and have it turn into something, then totally do that. Everything that I've seen so far has been wonderful and sturdy, and Bob did it all by himself, so good work, Bob. Well, hopefully by now you know what a Catio is. Whether you live in an apartment or a house or a townhome or, you know, a camper wagon or whatever it is, we can make life that much better for our cats, make them that much happier, that much more fulfilled. And one thing I think that we can agree upon is that with every example of these Catios, whether they're just, you know, something in a window or the Taj Mahal or any stop in between, it increased their cat's mojo. I can guarantee you that everybody who contributed today would attest to that. There's our Catio for today. Keep those Catios coming, you guys. I want to see it. Send it to this address right there. Make sure, you know, videos are better. Pictures are fine, but send videos also. Narrate them. Let me know what the names of your cats are, because that's helpful too. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next time we have the Catio tour of homes, you want to be knowing when that's coming around, don't you? So subscribe, hit the bell, leave comments down below so that I know what other videos you want to see. And now it's time for me to take a nap, because that was a lot of work and I didn't even hammer a nail today, and I am done. All right, you guys, until next time, all light, all love, all mojo to you.